Welcome in to Outkick the Show. A lot of craziness out there in the world of sports, in the world of public health. In the years ahead, people will look back on these crazy days and they will say, I can't believe everything that was happening all at once. I appreciate you hanging out with us. I'm going to start doing this every single day because we are not on television with Lock It In. And so I have a lot more flexibility in the afternoon. There are so many things going on right now that I feel like we could probably talk for hours here on Outkick the Show. I will start off with the latest on the coronavirus. I shared the facts with you. I've tweeted it out. All right, so let me give you the latest. Presently, there are 75 people that have died from the coronavirus in the United States since the coronavirus outbreak began. Let me repeat that. 75 people, okay? Total across the entirety of the United States. Right now, there are, as I speak to you at about almost 4:30 on Monday, all right, there are, and I'm going to look at this and see what the exact number is, 4,166 active cases, all right? This is according to the website that I use as our determining factor here. The advice that I gave this morning on Outkick the Show, Outkick the Coverage, my radio show, is I am breaking down the numbers, all right? Here are the numbers most recently that I have seen from Italy. Italy has the worst outbreak in the world right now. China previously, obviously, where this disease began, had the worst outbreak, all right? And let me walk you through the data, which is factual, and let you know who should be afraid right now, all right? I'm going to block people as I happen to look over. If I happen to see people whining, you're going to be blocked. Why should I allow you to comment? I am going to block people as I look over. Let me go ahead and go full Clay Kyle here. All right? People are succumbing to fear porn who have nothing at all to fear, and it is impacting in an incredibly negative way our economy. All right? Here is the latest data from Italy. People aged 0 to 9 who have died in Italy, where the worst outbreak is in the world right now, 0. People aged 10 to 19 who have died from the coronavirus, 0. People aged 20 to 29, this is from Italy, who have died of the coronavirus, 0. People aged 30 to 39 who have died of the coronavirus in Italy, 2. All right? So there have been 2 people under the age of 40 in all of Italy that have died of the coronavirus. 40 to 49-year-olds, according to Italy, 4. So there have been 6 total people in all of Italy under the age of 50 who have died of the coronavirus. It's important factual detail that I think matters as people are running around, all right? Continuing. And by the way, going to block people. There's a lot of politics in here that I don't really understand. People aged 50 to 59. There have been 24 people. So in the entirety of Italy, for people under the age of 60, this is this weekend's numbers, but I'm assuming the percentages have roughly stayed the same. There is and I'm trying to do live math here, which you guys know is sometimes a difficulty for me. I believe the number here is 97% of all of the victims in this case have been over the age of 60. All right? So this is a big deal. All right? If you are trying to focus on the people who are most at risk from the coronavirus, 97% of all victims are 60 or older in Italy. All right, where the worst outbreak is right now. So what I would tell everybody, and it's the same thing I told my parents who are senior citizens, I said, if you have kids, if you have grandkids, keep young people away from old people. There's a lot of talk about social distancing, right? Really, the people who need to social distance are young people from old people. Because the people who are dying from the coronavirus are senior citizens. They aren't young, okay? So my issue here is, if we're trying to be most proactive, it's really not 18-year-olds who need to stay apart from each other, okay? It isn't 20-year-olds who need to stay apart from each other. It's 20-year-olds who need to stay away from their 80-year-old grandmother. It's 30-year-olds who need to stay away from their parents who might be 75. It is people who are kids and might well be communicating this virus, communicable disease, while not knowing that they have it, away from grandma and grandpa. And that is what I would say is the best way to stop the spread of this virus. The other thing I would say, people are going to look at total numbers. Total numbers don't actually make sense here. What matters is new infections. And if you watch the White House press conference, Dr. Birx said as there are more people getting the ability to test, the number of total infections is going to rise. And this is important. Right now, there are 3 NBA players who really aren't that sick that have tested positive for the coronavirus. Donovan Mitchell, for instance, had it, and he didn't even know that he had it. Meaning there are lots of 20-somethings that feel 100% fine, and they go to visit grandma and grandpa, and they get them sick. And there are people who are my age who are 40, and they go visit their their parents who are senior citizen, and they get them sick, right? So the best thing you can do, social distancing is fine, but I think it's being defined too expansively. Let's focus on who's actually getting severely sick and dying here. It's primarily the elderly and people with suppressed immune systems, right? So this is something that is worth paying attention to in a larger context, is to socially distance, to keep yourself away from senior citizens. And for senior citizens out there, you guys should be the ones who are quarantining, who are keeping yourself out of the natural flow of commerce right now, because you're the most susceptible to this illness. People under the age of 60 were fine by and large, even in Italy, which has an awful outbreak. 97% of all victims are over the age of 60. They are senior citizens, all right? So that is the biggest takeaway I would give you right now. We are going to be fine. We have come through far worse as a country than what is going on right now with the coronavirus. They said, a testing for potentially a vaccine to the coronavirus today. If you watch the press conference, we are going to be fine. And I understand that everybody wants to run around and scream and their heads on fire and everything else. Now is the time to be reasonable, to be driven by data and analytics. I apologize for everybody out there who wants me to just throw up my hands and run around screaming and yelling and acting like the world is coming to an end. It's not. It's not remotely close to coming to an end. China shut down this virus. South Korea shut down this virus. The United States of America will shut down this virus too. Some people will die. Lots of people die every single day. It's an unfortunate reality. All right? Those are my thoughts on the coronavirus in general. All right? Now let's talk about the NFL, because I think there's a lot of appetite for people who just want to talk about sports, even though the economy and the country has gone insane. The NFL is back. And the NFL is here to save us, and there are a bunch of different NFL-related stories. First of all, the CBA passed. The CBA passed narrowly, and for the average fan out here, here's what you need to know about the CBA passing. We now are likely to have a 17-game season in the years ahead. More importantly, we are going to have 2 new playoff teams, 7 from the AFC, 7 from the NFC. And so for everybody out there, as you move through the NFL, the CBA passed. We got labor peace until 2030 now in the NFL, and there are a monster number, an absolute monster number of people out there that are signing big deals. Let's start with Ryan Tannehill, who got $91 million guaranteed over the next 3 years. This is a monster risk by the Tennessee Titans with a quarterback that hasn't been very healthy historically, that hasn't performed anywhere near a $91 million contract. And now needs to stay healthy, and the Titans are paying like a $10 million, a top 10 level quarterback. Can he stay healthy? Can he play the way that he has played through those 13 games? Or was this a statistical aberration where he just happened to have the best 13 games of his career? He got hot. He's like Blake Bortles back in the day and got $50 million guaranteed from the Jags. He's like Nick Foles getting hot in a limited sample size. That remains to be seen. Okay? So Tannehill, in and of himself, is the big question, and I think it is an interesting one indeed. I don't know whether or not it's a good buy or not. It makes me nervous. It makes me nervous to think that Ryan Tannehill is going to be expected to be the reason that teams win games as opposed to effectively a game manager. DeAndre Hopkins. I'm sorry, Houston Texans fans. DeAndre Hopkins traded for David Johnson, a running back that the Arizona Cardinals didn't even want. The Houston Texans have now given up Jadeveon Clowney and DeAndre Hopkins and not even gotten a first-round pick for them. I don't know what's going on with Bill O'Brien. There are reports that he and DeAndre Hopkins did not get along. I don't know what Deshaun Watson has to be thinking. It appears to me that the Texans are going to waste their window when Deshaun Watson cost almost no money. They now are dealing with Will Fuller at wide receiver who can't stay healthy at all. You've got a situation where you were trading away one of the 5 best wide receivers in the NFL who's still only 27 or 28 years old. Big win for the Arizona Cardinals. I would think that Kyler Murray has to be ecstatic today. Cliff Kingsbury has to be ecstatic today to think about what he could be capable of in a high-profile passing offense. This is going to be a big win for the Arizona Cardinals. It makes the NFC West even tougher. You already had all of the talent that's up there in Seattle, the team that went to the Super Bowl last year in the San Francisco 49ers, and the team that went to the Super Bowl the year before in the LA Rams, and now the Cardinals are on the upswing as well. You can make an argument that the best division in all of football right now is the NFC West. DeAndre Hopkins taking more talent out there in a big way. Dak Prescott has been franchise tagged. Dak Prescott franchise tagged, and guys, I don't blame Dak Prescott at all if he doesn't show up. Because the precedent that the Dallas Cowboys set last year with Ezekiel Elliott was, even if you are under contract, if you don't show up to work, we will renegotiate the contract that you have already signed. Dak Prescott only made $2.8 million over 4 years to play quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. $700,000 a year to play quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Now he's going to get paid a lot more, but it's only a 1-year deal. I don't blame him for being frustrated, furious with the Dallas Cowboys for all of the people that they have taken care of him for. And as a result, I believe Dak Prescott's going to sit out. I think this makes for a messy situation with the Dallas Cowboys. Other big story here is obviously Amari Cooper is set to be an unrestricted free agent come Wednesday afternoon at 4 o'clock Eastern. So the Cowboys gave up a lot to get Amari Cooper, and they are potentially going to let him ride off into the sunset without getting anything really in exchange for him at all. So the question is, what are the Cowboys going to do long range now? Will Dak show up? Will he play this year under the franchise tag, or is he going to sit out? That is a big question. Same big question. Same big question that is out there pending for Derrick Henry. Running backs, incredibly undervalued. When you pay them, whether it is the situation that the Rams find themselves in with Todd Gurley, whether it's Le'Veon Bell with the Steelers and now with the Jets, whether it is Ezekiel Elliott, almost every time you pay a running back big money, they don't end up being worth it in their second contract. You're almost always better off spending less money at the running back position. Derrick Henry would be entitled to $10.4 million if he is going to be the running back for the for the Tennessee Titans. But will he hold out now? Does he want bigger, more money? This is going to be fascinating to see what his response is. I have no earthly idea why he would want to play under the franchise tag, given the fact that he didn't make that much money as a second-round draft pick. He has drastically outperformed over the last 2 years his contract, and so I don't understand why he would show up either. This doesn't make a lot of sense to me. We got a big trade. In addition to DeAndre Hopkins, The Colts trade their first-round pick, 13th overall, to the 49ers for all-pro defensive tackle DeForest Buckner, who agreed to a massive contract with the Colts, an extension that pays him $21 million a year and makes him the second highest paid defensive tackle in NFL history, behind only Aaron Donald, that according to Adam Schefter. If the Colts are trading away their number 13 overall pick, what this suggests is that the Colts are highly likely to be going all in on a free agent quarterback. Phillip Rivers is favored to be their guy right now, as opposed to going into the draft and getting someone new. The 49ers are stocking up with the potential option to go into the first round and get some assets. Remember, they already had a really strong defensive line in general. So the Indianapolis Colts making a big move to get that addition. And now the question becomes, who is going to be their quarterback? Phillip Rivers is favored to be that addition. Tom Brady. Remember him? We talked a lot about Tom Brady over the past couple of months. Brady, Titans say they gave him the Heisman. 49ers say they gave Brady the Heisman as well. It appears that Tom Brady is effectively down to three teams. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are now the favorite. I got to give a shout out to my guy, Harry Gagnon, who works with the Against All Odds podcast with Cousin Sal and the Ringer Podcast Network. He's been saying it's going to be the Bucs throughout. The Bucs are favored right now to sign Tom Brady, to add Tom Brady to Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, to Rashad Perryman, and O.J. Howard, as well as Cameron Brake. They need a running back, but they've got a lot of talented wide receivers down the field. This also would mean the end of Jameis Winston with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Bucs are going after Brady in a big way. Maybe the Chargers, who are desperate. They are kind of the side chick of the NFL quarterback market. They don't have a lot of options right now. Maybe the Chargers are out there and think it makes the most sense to potentially try and get Brady to sell some tickets in that new SoFi Stadium. And as you look ahead, maybe it also could make sense that the Chargers could be looking desperately into the draft as well. Patriots, I don't know. It to me seems the most likely, if those are your options, to go back to New England unless Belichick is trying to kick Tom Brady to the curb. So these are all massive stories, all breaking. I want to let you know we will be live every morning. I'll be live here in the afternoon on Facebook and Periscope. You can follow me on Twitter at Clay Travis. This is so many different interesting storylines in the NFL all this week. 6 to 9 a.m. Eastern. We'll be live on Fox Sports Radio. Also live on Sirius XM Channel 83 nationwide. If you have satellite on the Fox Sports app, we are not on. Lock It In is not on this week on FS1. Usually I'm on television right now. The whole network is postponed. Undisputed's not on. First Things First is not on. Speak for Yourself is not on. All programming is postponed right now at the main FS1 television network. So we are obviously incredibly busy following all of this, but no television. Fox Bet, by the way, tons of great info that's out there. We'll talk about this later in the week. College football game of the year lines are out at Fox Bet. You can go check those out. Also, odds to make the playoffs. Lots of teams have been helped immensely by the playoffs expanding and a new wildcard team being added in the AFC and in the NFC. Finally, on the stock market. Some of these stock prices are insane. Stock market is down nearly 9,000 points, nearly 33% overall, or whatever the heck it is, since it got to 29,000 points. I fundamentally believe the best place you can have your money long range is in the United States stock market. I keep quoting Warren Buffett because Warren Buffett made scads of money during the financial crisis of 2008. And one of his most famous quotes is, "Be greedy when others are fearful, fearful when others are greedy." The entire stock market is fearful right now. Capitalism is not coming to a close. This is not even close to one of the most dangerous pandemics that the globe has ever seen. We are going to survive the coronavirus. We will come through on the other side. It may take a while. The president said today, on the back end, it might be July or August till we are finished. It is time to buy stocks. Don't look at your 401k. Don't panic and go sell. Don't try and time the market, because the stories have shown and studies have shown statistically that people behave in an irrational fashion when they are losing money. Yes, it may continue to fall. It may go to 15,000. It may go to 14,000. But it could also turn around and surge back up to 25,000 in the space of a week. And if you miss that, then you're chasing, right? You got to just be confident that over time, be a long-term investor. If you don't want to know what stocks to buy, go buy S&P 500 index funds. You're getting exposure to the 500 largest companies wherever they are. I believe that we will be fine. I believe that we are going to handle the coronavirus. I'm not running around like my hair is on fire, okay? I'm telling all of you guys the same thing I'm telling my family. I'm telling all of you, same thing I'm telling my kids and my parents. Be calm. Look at all the data. Be rational. Don't be fearful. All right. I love all of you. My name is Clay Travis. This has been Outkick the Show. Kisses. DBAP. Unless you need to SBAP. I love all of you. We are going to be fine. We are going to kick the coronavirus's ass. Do not allow people to terrify you. Fear is not an emotion that leads to logical and rational decisions, and social media is primarily governed by emotion, not by logic. Love all of you. DBAP unless you need to SBAP. Kisses. I'll see y'all. Bye. Love you. Thank you, Facebook. See y'all.